Okay, we will call this meeting to order at 5 o'clock. The Napa Valley Unified School District Board of Education is holding a regular board meeting tonight, and we invite participation either remotely or in person. Directions on how to participate via Zoom are available at nvusd.org/board. The open session part of the meeting will begin around 7 p.m. Public comment on closed session items. Before going into closed session, the board is available for public comment on closed session agenda items. Mr. Michaels, do we have any public comment on closed session agenda items?
There is no public comment on closed session items.
All right, seeing that there are none, the board will now adjourn into closed session. Okay, we will reconvene this meeting back to open session. Good evening. My name is David T. Gracia, and this is the Napa Valley Unified School District Board of Education. The NVUSD Board of Education is holding a regular board meeting tonight, and we invite participation either remotely or in person. Directions on how to participate via Zoom are available at nvusd.org/board. Interpretation in Spanish is available for tonight's virtual board meeting. Our interpreters are Isidro Mencos and Francisco Mesa. One of the interpreters will now translate the directions on our English channel so our Spanish-speaking families may hear the instructions.
Buenas tardes. La reunión de hoy de la Junta Educativa del Distrito Escolar Unificado de Napa Valley va a tener interpretación simultánea en español. Para acceder a la interpretación simultánea, en breves momentos ustedes van a ver en la parte de abajo de su pantalla de Zoom un icono del globo terráqueo, un mapa del mundo, y pueden hacer clic ahí y entonces escoger el idioma Spanish o español. Si ustedes están accediendo a la Junta por su teléfono móvil, en la parte superior o inferior de su pantalla de Zoom en el teléfono van a ver 3 puntitos y pueden hacer clic allí y ahí van a encontrar también el servicio de interpretación. Le hacen clic y eligen el idioma Spanish o español. Gracias.
Okay, thank you. Can we please start with an attendance roll call from Vera Morales, Executive Assistant?
Yes, Student Board Member McGrath,
Present.
Trustee Gracia,
Present.
Trustee Water,
Present.
Trustee Reiser,
Present.
Trustee Pugh,
Present.
quorum present. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Thank you for joining us tonight for our NVUSD board meeting. E1 is a report on closed session items. Trustee Reiser, do you have a report on closed session items?
Yes. D1, student discipline. With respect to every item of business to be discussed in closed session pursuant to Ed Code 35146 and 48912.20, Government Code Section 49060 and 49078, and the Family Rights and Privacy Act regarding student matters. D1B, readmitted expulsions. The board recommends the readmitted expulsion for student 111722B.
Move to approve.
Second. First by Trustee Chu, second by myself. All those in favor?
Aye. Oh, we have to.
Oh, we didn't need to do a roll call for that, actually. Ms. Morales, can you please give us a roll call on that?
Yes, Trustee Gracia,
Aye.
Trustee Water,
Aye.
Trustee Reiser,
Aye.
Trustee Pugh.
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you.
And then item D2A, personnel. In closed session, the board took action to approve the following staff recommendation effective the 2023-24 school year. Colleen Peterson to the position of principal at Napa Valley Adult Education.
All right. That looks. Oh, do we have her
Yes,
available?
yes, Ms. Peterson's here. So I want to invite Ms. Peterson, our new principal of our adult school, to go ahead and address the board. Congratulations.
Thank you. I'm Colleen Peterson. I'm thrilled and excited to be the next principal at Napa Valley Adult Ed. I just want to express my gratitude to the board, and I'm ready to start September 1st.
Congratulations and welcome to the NVUSD administrative team, Ms. Peterson. We look forward to working with you.
All right, thank you. All right, item E2, flag salute. Can I have trustee Chu lead us at the flag salute tonight?
Please stand.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you. E3 announcement. This meeting is live streamed and recorded via Zoom and will be archived on the district YouTube channel. For a detailed review of any meeting agenda item, the archive video can be referenced on the district's webpage at nvusd.org. The process for public comment can also be found on the district's webpage. Item E4, approval of the agenda. I would like to pull item I4F, that we remove that item from the agenda, and then otherwise move to approve the agenda.
I will second.
Okay, first by myself, second by trustee Chu. All those in favor?
Aye.
Abstentions? Motion passes. All right, then we're on to E5, approval of minutes. E5A, August 10th, 2023.
Move to approve.
Second.
First by trustee Chu, second by trustee Riser. All those in favor?
Aye.
Abstentions, nays, motion passes. Item E6, recognition of visitors and employee organizations. Dr. Massetti, do we have any visitors in attendance?
We do. Before I introduce them and welcome them this evening, I do want to recognize that the president of NAPS, Ms. Jennifer Can, is not able to be here with us tonight. She wanted to, but it is her birthday. So she is celebrating that with her family. Happy birthday to Ms. Can. But we do have in the room tonight our president of CSEA, Mr. Hector Gallegos. Mr. Gallegos, would you like to come up and address the board?
Good evening, board. My name is Hector Gallegos, CSA chapter president. I've seen you guys around. Excited for the new school year. Looking forward to, a great start and hopefully a good, great year. So good evening, everybody.
Thank you, Hector. Thank you so much for all of the hard work of our classified support staff in getting us ready for the 23-24 school year. We also have the leadership from NVEA in the boardroom tonight. So I'd like to welcome up our president of NVEA, Ms. Deb St. Clair, and the chief negotiator for NVEA, Mr. Troy Giddings.
Good evening. Thank you for having us here. Just wanted to say, first of all, we're so excited about the school year. It's been fantastic so far, busy, but amazing. And I just wanted to do a formal introduction. The chief negotiator for the union this year will be Troy Giddings. And so just wanted you all to meet him.
It's going to be an honor to work with all of you and get to know you at a more professional level on this level rather than just in my classroom. So thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank
And
you.
we also want to echo the gratitude to all of our teachers and all the members of the NVA who've worked so hard to make sure that we were prepared to open up classrooms and create an outstanding educational experience for our students this first week of school. So thank you so much for all your hard work and your leadership.
Okay, now we'll move on to item G, which is public comment on non-agenda items. Trustee Riser, did we receive any public comment on non-agenda items via email?
Yes, we did. The following public comment was received via email before 8 a.m. this morning. The written format has been forwarded and reviewed by the NVUSD Board of Education trustees. Comment submitted by Karina Serventi, titled Academic Support for All Students, dated August 23rd, 2023.
Thank you. We have no public comment in the boardroom. Mr. Michaels, is there any public comment online? That didn't work. Could you try that again? Clearly, there seems to be a technical issue with Mr. Michael's connection.
I can see here that there is no public comment, so I think we're okay.
Okey doke. We will move on then. Item H is reports. Item H1, oh no, wait. Oh, yes, item H1, Board of Education and Student Board Representative reports. Student Board Member McGrath, would you like to start us off?
Absolutely. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. It's been a great first week back at school. And although I'm sure that all of us students can agree that the summer felt a little too short, many students are happy to be back on campus, as the start of the school year is always exciting. This past Sunday, I helped organize a Relay for Life along the Vintage and Justin Siena student leadership. The purpose of this Relay for Life is usually to serve as a fundraiser for the American Cancer Society. However, this past Sunday, most of the proceeds went to a Napa High student battling cancer. This event was held at Justin Siena, but our Napa High leadership plans to organize another fundraiser for the student that will hopefully be held at Napa High. This past week, I also spoke with a freshman at New Tech about their first week of school. The student expressed that they were delighted with the openness that their teachers showed them. They were very grateful not to feel as though there are any barriers between them and their teachers, and that within the first week, their teachers had established open communication between themselves and their students. Similarly, I reached out to the student body president of New Tech, and she also reflected that the New Tech teachers are very personal with their students. At New Tech, there's a new bell schedule that includes intercession 3 times a week, which is a period where students are able to talk to their teachers and get help from them. She said that this extra time helps them attain helpful personal feedback from their teachers. When I heard this, I found this very interesting because last year I was a part of an NVUSD student advisory committee for the LCAP goals. And this was something that was echoed across all of the schools. Many students expressed the need for an allocated period of time during the day where they can go and approach their teachers about specific questions that they have. So I thought this was very good that New Tech implemented this and made this change. After reaching out to the New Tech ASB president, I reached out to the president of Vintage High School, senior, who said that she felt as though Vintage feels like a community this year with increased collaboration between clubs, teachers, and administrations, and she is excited for the school year. Additionally, our student board rep alternate, Mistura, reporting from American Canyon High School, said that coming into the school year, she feels a lack of excitement and unity from her senior class, which she seems odd to her, as she was expecting the senior year to be the year that provokes the most excitement and sense of community. On the other hand, she also said that one of the biggest positives from the first week was the new staff. She said that they were able to quickly adapt and were integrated into the school atmosphere. And on top of that, she said that the majority of them were individuals of color, which has been a positive experience for many students, Mistura included, as it is important to have staff that reflects the diversity of the student population. That's all for my report.
Thank you. Trustee Chu.
Well, welcome to the 23-24 school year to everyone. And it's wonderful to sit next to our student board representative again, like that last year. So really enjoy that, get their input. I started, well, after the last meeting, I attended Canyon Oaks Elementary Back to School Ice Cream Social that was hosted by the PTO. So it was great to just reintroduce myself as a alumni parent and to meet some of the young children's TK families. And just great to be back to seeing children on campus. Of course, we had the start of the new year. So I attended the ACHS site for NVUSD Welcome Back to American Canyon employees. And on the 18th, I just happened to be at Canyon Oaks because I drop off my child
to go take the bus to ACMS. I'm very grateful for the bus service because I tried to drop off my kid the first day and it took me over 30 minutes to get there and back for less than an hour. So thank you for all the bus service and the bus drivers for getting our kids there to their destination safely. But I happened to be at Cannon Oaks and they had a coffee with the principal. So I dropped by and it was very nice to see that our mayor, Leon Garcia, and our vice mayor, Pierre Washington, also came by to say hi and welcome to the new year to the parents. So really great to see that community engagement. And in the past week, I've had multiple meetings with lots of parents and just to get some feedback about how their year has started and also to address some of the questions they may have about things that are going on in the district. And I also met individually with council members Mark Joseph and Pierre Washington just to give them a little update on the school district. And that concludes my report.
Thank you. Trustee Reiser.
Thank you. Just want to echo the welcome back sentiments and gratitude to all of our employees and congratulations on launching the new school year. And thank you for all of your hard work. Since our last meeting, I also attended the welcome back reception for our NVUSD employees, both the one that was in Napa on the Monday of last week and then the next day and Tuesday at the American Canyon High School. That's always a really nice experience to see people gathering and the excitement is building and you can practically see the to-do lists in everybody's heads as the clock ticks down. But I really like the way the district does that. And I just think it's a really, it's sort of a warm welcome for the school year. And I hope the staff that attended felt warmly welcomed. I also participated in a panel discussion that was held at the Napa County Library this past Monday, joined by Superintendent Massetti and Trustee Water to my right here. We were hosted by the Napa Valley Democrats, and the subject was the topic of book bans. So I really enjoyed that fruitful opportunity and discussion to sort of share our points of view and hear from the community and what their thoughts are. I also had a one-on-one interview at the launching of our strategic planning process with Prospect Studio. So select people within the district are already kind of getting started engaged with that. And I enjoyed giving my initial feedback as we launched that exciting process. I attended you left this off your report, the Curriculum and Student Support Committee meeting yesterday. Trustee Chu was there too. And that's always very interesting and meaty updates about the instruction and what's going on in the instructional division. And I'm also continuing, in person and by phone and email with community engagement with stakeholders. And I haven't done a site visit yet, but I'm excited that starting the first week of September, I have site visits on my calendar, and I'm excited to get back to seeing the students on our campuses. I don't lurk around Napa High I don't think my senior would appreciate that. She's very, very independent. So I'm looking forward to getting that going for this school year, and that concludes my report.
Thank you. Trustee Water.
Thank you, President Bracio. I did everything Eve did, except I would like to thank Director Reddy for coming to the meeting at the library. And I am good friends with the Joanna O'Kelly. She's a Master Gardener friend of mine, and she invited us, and she told me today that, we got good reviews and people were really intrigued and they were interested in the process that we go through when we adopt a book. So that was great. I too am looking forward to working with everybody and having a happy and successful school year, 2023-24. I'm looking forward to it.
All right, thank you. Since last time we were here, I went to the district welcome back at the district office here in Napa. And then on the following day, the 15th, I attended the Welcome Back at American Canyon High School. The items that I did since last time. We will now move on to item H2, Board Representative Reports. H2A, Special Education Community Advisory Committee. Trustee Hart is not here, so we will pass over that. H2B, City of American Canyon Liaison Representatives.
We have not met.
H2C, City of Napa Liaison Representatives.
We haven't met. We do have a meeting coming up soon. Can't find it, but I'm sure we will meet soon.
Yeah, next month.
Yeah.
Okay. And then Town of Yountville Liaison Representatives, we have not yet met. We'll now move on to item H3, Superintendent and Executive Staff.
Great. Thank you, President Gracia. And good evening, NVUSD board members, staff, and community. I'm delighted to report on our school district's triumphant first week back to school. It was a week marked by excitement, reconnection, and a clear display of our community's commitment to educational excellence. Some of the key highlights from my observations include the following. It was a smooth transition back, thanks to the meticulous planning by our administrators and teachers and the tireless efforts of all of our support staff. Students transitioned pretty smoothly into their new classrooms and programs. Also observed early on in the school year in this first week, a lot of engaged learning. I've been at several schools for my initial visits, including visits to Unidos Middle School, Silverado Middle School, Napa Valley Language Academy, Browns Valley, Willow, and West Park. It was heartening to see students in hallways, on the playgrounds, and classrooms, and in their after-school programs, which we'll hear about this evening in a little bit, and all the athletic activities where students were just bustling with lots of energy. You could tell they were really excited to get back. I have also, in these initial visits, I just wanted to take a moment and pause and notice that our investment in technology has really proven to be beneficial. You really can appreciate the reliability of our technology infrastructure and equitable access to devices for students and students and staff, when you observe the integration of technology take place with such ease across the 26 campuses in this very first week of school. And that could be very different if a district hasn't made solid investments in technology. So thank you to the board for all of your support around that. Some observations around community and parental involvement, which is also launched. I know many of our back to school nights are this week, with parents showing keen interest in their children's academic journeys, and that's always exciting for them to meet their teachers and principals at their respective schools. The first week also was not completely challenge-free. I want to thank Assistant Superintendent Mike Pearson, the maintenance and operations team, the communications team, the food services team, and specifically Principals Peter Hartnick and Suzanne Flint, and all of the staff at both Redwood Middle School and Northwood Elementary School, who kept our two sites operating safely despite a day-long power outage that left both schools without access to power on Tuesday. Despite this extraordinary challenge in the first few days of school where there was no power on a warm August day, kids had a productive day at school where they were safe and able to collaborate with their classmates and friends. Thank you to everyone for being so adaptive and resilient in those circumstances. While we had an outstanding week, there were also some, minor typical challenges, schedule changes, and those kinds of things that all systems experience. But despite all that, as usual, the NVUSD demonstrated agility, quickly addressing concerns, and ensuring minimal disruption to our students' experiences so that everyone could have a fairly positive start to the school year. So thank you for everyone for all of their efforts to make sure that that happens for our kids. I extend my deepest gratitude to every individual in our system who's played a role in making this first week a great success. Together, we've laid a really strong foundation for an exceptional 23-24 academic year. And I also just want to echo what Trustees Reiser and Water said regarding the opportunity and the invitation to speak on the panel at the Napa Valley Democratic Club meeting. The event was hosted at the Napa County Library. I also want to thank Joanna O'Kelly, who extended the invitation to us. It's just really, really great when organizations like these create an opportunity for the community to connect with the school district and discuss educational issues that we're facing within our school system, but also that have implications for educational issues that folks across the state and nationally are contending with. And I also want to echo the gratitude to Director Monica Reddy, who did an extraordinary job of joining us as a panelist and did explain our process for curriculum adoption and review. So thank you so much. With that, I'm going to introduce each of the assistant superintendents so they can report out on the work that's happening in their respective divisions. So we're going to start out with Assistant Superintendent Dana Page, who oversees the Human Resources Division.
Right. Good evening, President Gracia, Board of Trustees, Dr. Massetti, and Student Board Representative McGrath. I'd like to echo everybody's sentiments and thank all of our employees for the tremendous work in getting the 2024 school year off and running. I always say it's kind of like starting a locomotive. Like the first few weeks, it just takes a lot of effort and a lot of people pushing in one direction to get the thing going. And then after a little bit of time, we start to kind of pick up speed and momentum. So just a big thank you and hang in there. And we're going to get to that point where things are just chugging right along. I also want to share that last week, after our first Welcome Back to School event for employees in Napa, I had the privilege of participating in a teacher recruitment summit that was hosted by State Superintendent of Public Instruction, Tony Thurman. It was a formal launch of a coalition of people that included folks from teacher credentialing programs, school districts, county offices of education, pipeline programs, AmeriCorps, military representatives, because we were discussing a lot of different solutions to try to meet the growing need for a robust and diverse pool of educators for the future. So there was participants from around the state, and we worked in groups to brainstorm solutions to the current teacher shortages. And I participated in a group around Grow Your Own programs, particularly residency programs. I was able to share some of NVUSD's celebrations and challenges in that regard, and got to hear from some other districts about what they're doing. I was very happy that the California Department of Education was there with open ears facilitating this discussion, because there are some things that they could do to really help these programs to thrive even more and help us create an organic pipeline of new educators from our own community. So I look forward to continuing that work alongside my colleagues in the state to think of solutions creatively and collaboratively to tackle this nationwide problem. Thank you, and this concludes my report.
Excellent. Thank you, Ms. Page. Next, we'll have Assistant Superintendent Mike Pearson report out on behalf of the Operational Services Division.
Good evening, President Gracia, NVUSD Board of Education trustees, Dr. Massetti, Student Board Representative Finn McGrath, and the NVUSD community. I want to thank you for the opportunity to provide you with an update of operational services. This past summer, the Maintenance and Grounds Department accepted 7 student interns for roughly 8 weeks. We had 6 males and 1 female participating in the internship program. 1 intern was from Valley Oak, 3 interns attend Napa High School, and 1 intern attends American Canyon High School. The last 2 interns graduated in June of 23, but they attended respectively American Canyon and Vintage High School respectively. Of the 7 interns, 3 of those interns are still classified as English learners. All their interns started their internship at 6 a.m. in the morning. Yes, 6 a.m. in the morning, 4 days a week. So any students out there, Finn, how about that 6 a.m.? They worked each day on those days for 5 hours. Students rotated through various trades such as general maintenance, plumbing, electrical, HVAC, carpentry, paint, and groundskeeping, where students received on-the-job training to complete various work orders using different materials, hand tools, machinery, and equipment. At the conclusion of their internship, a small celebration was held to acknowledge the hard work and dedication, and most importantly, the transformation each intern experienced during his or her time with the maintenance department. None of this would have been possible without the leadership and mentorship of the maintenance department lead workers who took on the responsibility of coaching each intern. I know the student interns learned a lot and were very appreciative of the opportunity provided, but I also know the employees benefited from this important role that each of them played in the lives of these young individuals. And I do want to take a minute just to let you know that it's just so important for folks like Hector Gallegos, who's in our audience right now, and other lead workers to have this interaction with students, because it humanizes the work they do. They don't always have a lot of interaction with students, and this gave them an opportunity to see students firsthand and have a completely different perspective of students and the lives that they lead. The pride our maintenance employees demonstrated reflected just really how important and serious they took their role with each intern. And I also want to thank the Napa Valley Ed Foundation, Amber Lawfridge, who's no longer with the district, and Megan McConnell, who I think took her position, for providing this opportunity for students and adults. And I think later today, you'll hear more about the summer programming through Director Reddy. Additionally, and Dr. Massetti took a little bit of my thunder here, but I do want to take a minute to recognize the amazing directors who comprise operational services. This past Tuesday, I believe I got the text at 2 a.m. in the morning. A power pole with a transformer attached was split in half in the early morning, knocking out power to Redwood Middle School and most of Northwood. I thought power was going to be reestablished. You can check online and see when power is going to be reestablished. And I thought it was going to be about 7 a.m., but we quickly learned that was not going to be the case. In fact, power was not going to be reestablished until later in the evening. Without any hesitation, Director of Food Service Kristen Tico adjusted meals at each campus so students were still fed. Director of Transportation Justin Binion mapped new routes to each campus due to the road closures to safely transport students. Director of Operations Gloria Aguirre coached the head and swing custodians on how to operate a school without power so staff and students could still access the campus. And Director of Maintenance and Grounds Albert D'Souza provided guidance to employees to move traffic safely on the streets and in the parking lots, along with powering up the front office at each site so telephones and Wi-Fi worked throughout the school day. Working collaboratively with the school site staff at each site, the operations teams just did their job so schools could remain open for teaching and learning to still happen. So a huge thank you to all the operations team members involved and to the school site staffs at Redwood and Northwood Elementary School. Thank you. Conclusion my report.
You know, Mr. Pearson, some people sent me some photographs of you in full effect in emergency response. Those people shall remain nameless. But you looked like you were right in your element. Thanks for putting your life on the line so our schools could operate. Extraordinary work. Tonight, Assistant Superintendent Pat Andrew Jennings can't be with us. Her designee this evening is Director Monica Reddy, who oversees secondary curriculum and instruction and English learner services, and she will be providing the report for the Instructional Services Division. Ms. Reddy?
Good evening, President Gracia, Board of Trustees, Student Board Member McGrath, Dr. Massetti, and NVUSD community. The positive energy of opening schools last Wednesday is flowing over into our first full week of instruction with students. Building an ecosystem of Carreño continues to be a priority and can be seen in the positive interactions between adults and youth as they greet each other at their classroom doors, engage in collaborative learning about each other and content, and interact on the playground and around campus. It was an exciting first day of school for our youngest learners in NVUSD as we welcomed our first class of preschool students at Shear, Phillips, and Napa Junction. We're excited to have the class of 2043, yes, 2043, from the very beginning of their educational journey. Our focus on social emotional learning prevention and intervention and community engagement continues to grow with the official launch of our 4 community schools at McPherson, Phillips, and Snow Elementary, as well as at Shear TK8 School. Each site now has a full-time community school program administrator who coordinates community and family engagement, expanded learning opportunities, MTSS, and shared leadership structures. Thanks to the Community Schools Grant, each site now also receives support from community-based organization service providers, including behavior interventionists from Burnett Therapeutic Services, Triple P Parenting and Family Coaching from COPE, on-site therapists from Mentis, and more. NVUSD was also recently awarded a second California Community Schools grant of $2.6 million to implement at Silverado Middle School and Valley Oak High School. We look forward to bolstering their existing wellness programming with similar staffing and service providers. Some next steps for the Napa Valley Community Schools Network include communication and messaging to the Napa community celebrating the great work happening at our NVUSD community schools. Thanks to the board's prioritization of MTSS, wellness, and mental health, NVUSD is able to provide wellness staff and professional learning. In mid-July, NVUSD was able to send a team of over 20 social workers, counselors, MTSS teacher leaders, and site administrators to the California Department of Education and Orange County Office of Education sponsored California MTSS Professional Learning Institute, a 3-day conference aimed at promoting the academic, behavioral, and social emotional success of all learners. Additionally, for the first time, we are able to provide every school site with mental health and wellness staffing, including amazing counselors, social workers, and mental health interns. We are proud to report that a majority of our mental health providers are bilingual and reflect the diversity of the communities in which they serve. Lastly, we are gearing up for the first ever NVUSD Student Summit on September 13th and look forward to sharing our learning as we center our students in the launch of our strategic planning process this year. Thank you, and that concludes my report.
Thank you, Ms. Reddy. Next and last, we will have Assistant Superintendent Rob Manguala, who oversees the Business Services Division.
Good evening. Thank you for the opportunity to update the board and the community. The technology team has been hard at work supporting our staff and students as we roll out the new school year. Our team of help desk staff and field technicians has closed over 600 work orders in the last week as we diligently work to make sure everything is working properly and our amazing staff and faculty have what they need for a successful start of the school year. We're also very excited to kick off a couple of major projects in the coming weeks that will eventually upgrade critical network infrastructure across the district. Ashley Green, the Ed Tech manager, has shared a number of helpful resources, including a technology teacher handbook and a Chromebook expectations presentation that teachers will use with their students. We also had 17 new teachers attend our first session of the new teacher technology training series that will run twice a month throughout the year, training teachers on using all the digital tools provided by the district. The Technology Times newsletter is also in print, or I should say electronically in print, and provides teachers with access to a plethora of resources. The enrollment team had a successful and smooth start of the school year. You might notice that there was not a line out there, so that doesn't mean that there's less students. It just ran very, very smoothly this year. So did not have lines out the door. It ran very smoothly. So extra staff support was available in Napa and in American Canyon to help families to register in time for the first day of school. All students whose registration was complete by Saturday, August 12th were verified in time to attend the first day of school. Compared to last year, elementary and secondary classrooms were also more balanced. For example, at the elementary school level, we have not had to reconfigure any classrooms after the first day of school. Also at the elementary level, there's been a 35% reduction in combination classrooms compared to this time last year. So big reduction there. As of today, 162 new interdistrict transfer students have been enrolled for the 23-24 school year compared with 145 last year. So we do see an uptick in interdistrict transfers. The data and assessment team continues to support sites with Aries, Clever, and other digital tools as we launch the school year. The team continues to also monitor completion of the data confirmation process and help site staff with supporting families who need assistance. We're already at an 85% completion rate. So the electronic process definitely works much better than the paper one. Additionally, we're gearing up for the first STAR assessment window for the school year, which opens up next week. We look forward to sharing the STAR results with the board at a meeting later this fall. The business services team is in the middle of closing out the previous fiscal year books and preparing for the audit visit in September. Additionally, technology, enrollment, data, and business staff will be attending a customer service training provided by North Bay Schools Authority. Lastly, we continue to refine the current year budget as additional information becomes available. This concludes my report.
President Gracia, that concludes the staff reports this evening.
Okay, thank you. All right, we will now move on to item I, approval of consent agenda. Background information on these items is provided to the board prior to the meeting. A common motion takes action without discussion on roll call vote unless discussion of item or items is requested by board members.
I will move to approve.
Second.
First by trustee Chu, second by trustee Riser. Let's try this again. Mr. Michaels, do we have any public comment on this item?
Okay, let's try this again. Can you hear me now?
We can.
Okay, good. Sometimes even a technology department has technical difficulties. There are no public comments on this item.
Okay. Ms. Morales, can we get a roll call vote on this item?
Yes, Student Board Member McGrath,
Aye.
Trustee Gracia,
Aye.
Trustee Water,
Aye.
Trustee Ricer,
Aye.
Trustee Shu.
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. We'll now move on to item J, presentation and discussion items. J1, instructional services. J1A, expanded learning opportunities program update.
Good evening, President Gracia, Board of Trustees, Student Board Member McGrath, Dr. Massetti, and NVUSD community. If we could have the slide shared, we'll go ahead and get started. Tonight, we're happy to share with you and I'm standing here in place of Director Matt Manning, who is a key component of this team. So I just want to lift that up. Tonight, we're going to share with you about our Expanded Learning Opportunities program. And I'm happy to have joined this evening the real experts in this area, Audrey Dawkins-Chubbs, who is our Expanding Learning Opportunities Manager, and Debbie Baldwin, who brings the District Academic Specialist Expanded Learning, just key prevention and intervention to this team. So tonight, the Expanded Learning Opportunities programs aligns closely with goal number 1 of the strategic plan. In particular, there are 4 elements that will be highlighted this evening by this group. Ms. Baldwin will provide an update on the math and ELA or English intervention provided to students this year. You will learn how we are providing training and coaching to program partners in the positive behavior and intervention systems or PBIS and use at our school sites and how that flows over and is consistent across the time that students are in the school day and after school programming, as well as throughout the summer. We're excited to share some of the highly engaging enrichment opportunities that we're bringing in and our partners that are helping provide that. And our ultimate goal of the ELOP program is to provide increased opportunities for qualifying students who are impacted by the pandemic so that they thrive socially, emotionally, and academically. And with that, I will turn it over to Audrey.
Monica, for that lovely introduction. Again, I'm Audrey, the manager of the Expanded Learning Opportunities Program. Thank you so much for having us here. Those of you that heard this presentation yesterday, we'll try to jazz it up a little as much as we can. We'll try. So just to recap, some of the essential core requirements of the ELOP program funding are to provide programming for 180 school days. So that means from the very first day of school to the very last day of school, we have students on campuses until for an extended period up to 9 hours a day. So we have to combine the school hours with after school hours to meet that 9-hour minimum. Additionally, we provide 39-hour days of programming throughout the academic school year. That's outside of school time. Usually, over these past 2 years, we've used the winter break and summer to meet that requirement. Our student to staff ratio must be maintained at all times, and that is a 20-to-1 for students in grades 1st through 5th or 1st through 6th. And our TKK student to staff ratio must be maintained at a 1-to-10. So that's for our littles, which as a preschool teacher, a former preschool teacher, I realize the heavy load it is to have those littles at a 10-to-1. So more than that, really not okay. In addition, there's our education and literacy elements woven into the program, focused on offering tutoring and homework support and a variety of enrichment opportunities, which we'll talk about. The direction from the state is to use the ELOP funds to offer students hands-on engaging learning experiences that complement but really don't replicate the school day. So it's not supposed to feel like school 2.0. It's really supposed to be a program that offers students opportunities to expand their horizons and their interests and help to reinforce those school day lessons. I'm doing the clicker. Next slide. So here, our target population is really those students in TK to 6th grade. And those are students that meet the eligibility requirements of free and reduced lunch, being English language learners or foster and unhoused youth. Our goal really is to enroll all the students on the interest list, and that's upon parent request. The requirement to enroll all of the students on the interest list is a change from the original structure. Director Manning previously shared with you guys that districts were required to enroll a minimum of 50% of qualifying students, but that is no longer. And what this new guidance allows us to do is to negotiate the contracts that we have with our partners in a different way. And that way we're able to pay the program partners only for the students that are actually being served in the program and not that up to percentage.
So we will continue to enroll students throughout the year with a continued goal of serving at least 50% of those qualifying students. And we've budgeted up to 60% of students if there's interest at that level. Our program partners. So this graphic really demonstrates the structure of our program and how we're able to provide daily programming to so many students. NVUSD has partnered with Cool Schools and the Napa Valley Boys and Girls Club to provide high quality programming for students in TK to 6th grade. Through this collaborative partnership, our students are provided with opportunities to excel socially, emotionally, and academically beyond that school day. This partnership is really exciting in that it provides a safe and reliable environment for students while supporting working families until 6 p.m. every day. For most of our families accessing after-school programming, this really serves as an essential component to family self-sufficiency. As a working mom, I understand the need. With NVUSD in the driver's seat, we're able to ensure quality ELOP standards are met and that our target students are receiving equitable enrichment opportunities and academic interventions. The success of the ELOP program is really built on the strong partnership that we've been able to build with our partners. A little bit about our enrollment numbers. In August of 2022, across all of our programs in ELOP, the number was 2,458. By June of 2023, we were at 2,780 students. Of the total program enrollment, there was 1,489 of the students that qualified as ELOP students. And by June of 2023, that number was at 1,717. So we saw growth and increase in both areas, an increase of 322 students across all programs, and then 228 students that were ELOP qualifying. So this year, we have grown again. So we're really excited to show that growth and see that growth happen, all while being mindful of the impact on facilities and classrooms and teachers. But we are excited to celebrate that growth, and the enrollment has reached 3,180 students this year, with 1,757 of those students being ELOP qualified. Although Debbie looked at the number today and it's slightly higher, it's just that the slide did not get updated, which is okay. Being that we have a continuous registration process, like we continue to register students all year, we anticipate that the enrollment will increase as space and staffing allows.
Good evening. As you can see here, this is a typical schedule that our after-school partners follow. You can see that they are helping cover the early release for our TKs and those schools that release their kindergartners a little earlier. And then, of course, once the other children are released, that we have the opportunity to provide a healthy snack and some recreation time. And then they also are very supportive in helping those children in their academic homework needs. It is not an expectation that it's done at that time, but it is definitely a time which they receive that support. And then afterwards, they kind of split in. This is where our enrichment piece comes in, the club theme activities, the constructive play. I think this is the highlight of the program. And so there's plenty of time allowed that. And then of course, we close out at 6 o'clock. So for us, we had the exciting opportunity to include some academic intervention. We were able to conduct 3 separate cycles of 6 to 8 week intervention or support for our students in grades K through 6. And the focus was on mathematics. This is because during the day, our district interventionists are working on the literacy piece. So we decided to take the time to focus on it. We had 32 staff members who helped, certified teachers who stepped up to, do that extra hour and a half to support our children during that 3 o'clock power hour, so to speak. We had approximately 300 students each cycle. And using the Bridges math intervention screeners and curriculum, we were able to really narrow down on the skill that those children needed during this cycle, or skills. The intervention classes were also extended this year. We're very excited to our 6th through 8th grade students in the middle schools. All 5 middle schools, that's including Shear, also provided instructional support to approximately 120 students in math, language arts, and LPAC prep. With the use of the math and Read 180 programs, as well as a science-based reading curriculum, approximately about 50% of those who participated increased their scores on the STAR math and or reading assessments between mid-year and end of year. So we look forward to continuing this work this fall, again, with the majority focusing on math. In the elementary, you can see there 64% of our participating students demonstrated mastery on the focus skill.
Here is our winter intersession. So as I shared earlier, the expanded learning program requires 210 days of programming. So the school days and then those 30 days beyond. So students are offered during this past winter break of 2022, our own NVUSD childcare offered 9 days of winter break camp at Alta Heights to 50 students. Our Cool Schools program enrolled 120 students at Shear Elementary. And our largest program was the Boys and Girls Club, and they provided programming to 275 students on average between the 2 weeks of winter break programs. Students were able to participate in multiple enrichment activities, and many were able to attend field trips, such as the one pictured here, where these students were able to go to the California Academy of Sciences. They look like they're having a great time.
The other time that we were able to provide the additional days that we needed to meet the requirement of 210 was during the summer. And we had all-day programs provided at 11 sites this summer for over 115 or 1,500, 1,500 students. During this time, we were also able to offer a reading intervention camp at 7 of those sites. Approximately 435 students were invited to participate in skill-specific small group classes. And we had approximately 79% participate, which is really great during the summertime. Using the quick phonics assessment, our teachers were able to determine the specific phonological awareness skill that was needed, because we only had 3 weeks to provide this intervention. So we just needed to be really specific on what we were doing. And so the teachers were able to provide that targeted instruction. And based on those assessments, we had an 86% of the students show growth in those skills. And that's just really amazing in that short time. It was like a mini learning sprint. That's me too. This is the exciting part. This is the enrichment activity. So we have had the opportunity to provide multiple experiences for our students after school to engage in various activities. So we have partnered with several of the community organizations, such as Girls on the Run, Play Well Technology, Puppet Art Theater, and the children were able to participate in such activities as engineering and architectural projects using Legos with the Play Well technology, mindful eating with the 4-H youth development, creating rain clouds. That was part of a STEM project. And then learning bike safety, as well as learning songs and dance routines to perform musicals. As well as developing leadership skills through Layla program, Junior Giants, Soccer Stars, and Girls on the Run and Smart Books. And we hope to continue these community connections as well.
In our effort to align our programming better with the district strategic goals, we really believe that quality after-school programming can best be achieved by empowering our frontline staff with professional development that will provide them with the tools that they need to strengthen and promote student success.
In doing this, we were able this past year to provide the training in the toolbox project training so that we're in line with the school day as well in the SEL learning. And then also with the positive behavior intervention support, the ecosystem of Cariño, and as intentional lesson planning that is tied to the after school programs as well as the MTSS process.
Here we are at Snow School last year, academic year, sharing the ecosystem of Cariño message and foundational principles with the Cool School staff. And I tell you, when we do these trainings, it's super exciting for us to be able to share the message, but also for our partners, frontline staff, to be excited about hearing the same message that the school day staff is getting. So Debbie and I are always excited to do this work. Looking ahead, we are excited to continue the work. There's still a lot of work to be done. So what we really want is for all of the frontline staff to receive that same message. Like I said before, the best way to ensure that that's happening is that the same information is shared with our after-school support partners. In that effort, we've already provided an MTSS overview training with our very own director, Sarah Knox, on August 16th, in which we had 46 participants, which was inclusive of all three partners. So the frontline staff from all three of our partner agencies. We were also invited to participate in the PBIS training on August 8th with Laura Moyman and her team. Due to space, we were only able to bring about 15 people, but it was a mighty 15. And we are looking forward to working with Director Christofferson to provide a follow-up training on PBIS so that we can really be specific to the after-school environment and come up with our own expectations for student success at each site.
The program providers are excited to move forward this year with additional enrichment activities and basically focusing more on hands-on events. They're going to include assemblies, on-site science shows, field trips, and visits from a mobile STEM classrooms.
And in an effort to continuously improve our practices, we are really looking forward to holding in-person enrollment events this spring in the hopes that we can support parents with the registration process, help to clarify some of those burning questions that they have about programming, and support families, especially those that have technology challenges. So we're hoping that those events will really help to better support the enrollment process for families looking to enroll in our summer and next fall programming. With that, we leave you with this adorable picture of these students who are enjoying their time after school. I just want to thank each of you, or we want to thank each of you for your time tonight, so that we can come and share a little bit about our program. If there are any questions, we'd be happy to answer them.
Okay, thank you. Before we take questions from the board, Mr. Michaels, is there any public comment on this item?
There is no public comment on this item.
Okay. It looked like student board member McGrath was interested in making, oh no, okay. Yeah, Trustee Reiser.
Yeah, I just want to, I don't have any questions, but I just want to make a few comments and thank you for both of you for your presentation ×2, because I heard it also yesterday. It's so impressive, the efforts that you've made. And I just wanted to highlight a couple of things. The expansion, the way that you're expanding and expanding the support for families to get connected to the program and making sure that those families that might need it the most, but might miss a deadline or might not quite get there to the front of the line. I think that's a really excellent effort. it's so impressive how strategic and targeted you're being with your academic interventions. That's so exciting. The data that shows really significant improvement in short periods of time. I mean, it is exactly a learning sprint. And to be able to extend those interventions beyond the school day is so critical. That's why we have this program, and it's just exciting, and it makes me feel very optimistic to see how smart and strategic we're being in how we're focusing in on the skills that are most needed, and using the pre and post assessment, and then being able to track the growth of the students, and that growth is very impressive. And then just the continuity that you're pursuing here. I love the way you are extending the continuity of the expectations and the social emotional learning, and bringing the staff that work with the kids after school in. You kept calling them the frontline workers. I always think about it, the people where the rubber hits the road, and that is going to benefit the staff so much. And it's going to benefit the kids so much to have just the same expectations, the same vocabulary, the same language. I just think that can only benefit the program, both the staff and the students. I'm really gratified to hear that the professional development is being so successful, and that the staff that's working after school is so responsive to that staff development as well. You know, it just, for those kids that have such long days from, 8 in the morning till 6 at night, I just think that kind of social emotional learning continuity is just going to make it feel like a calmer and safer place for them. And especially for the younger elementary kids, that's a long day to not get picked up till 6. So I just thank you for that effort in particular. I think that that's really smart to be doing that. And it's great to see the partnership and the way that, the programming and the approach that we are carrying out here with our ecosystem of Cariño and the toolbox and the PBIS, to know that there's that continuity all through the day till 6 p.m. with our school district related after school care and summer care is really a wonderful addition. So thank you for that. And just, I loved how you said that it's meant to be an expansion and enrichment, but not duplicating the day. It just feels, and I felt this the first time you gave this presentation for the committee, just that you're really hitting that mark of balance where you're giving them that support that they need in various ways, in very, very targeted and smart ways, but it also is not sort of beating them down with, I'm behind, and so now my school day is over, but it's not really over, you're hitting that right, seems to me, as a former teacher and a parent of kids that used to be in that age range, that you're hitting that balance really well. So that is also can only benefit both the students and also the staff, because if you're pouring your heart into continuing to do academics because that's what we're asking you to do, and not hitting that balance, well, then you hit that, point of diminishing return, and then that can affect mood and relationships between, staff and kids. So I just really appreciate the way you have such expansive and different offerings for the kids, so that even though we're getting that academic support and trying to close that gap caused by the pandemic, it hopefully, and it seems like, is really feeling to the kids, not like I'm in school until 6, but I have this other experience and these other enrichments and physical activity and arts and science and STEM and enrichment. So I'm just really impressed with the whole package of the after school and summer programming, and thank you for your hard work.
Thank you for those sentiments. We really appreciate it.
Trustee Water.
Thank you. Yes, I heard it yesterday, and I went home and thought about it and went through the slideshow. And I'm very, as a former English teacher, I'm really impressed that the reading numbers are going up, and 86% showing improvement. That's wonderful. And you know what? The remaining 14%, I know they learned something too. It was good for them. And I like how, more people want to access the program. And I do think that the instruction during our lengthy winter break is a good idea. It's a very good idea. And so thank you. And thank you to all the instructors and our community partners for making this happen.
Thank you.
Trustee Chu?
So I also heard this yesterday, but it's always good to hear a second time because I always learn more. One of the things that struck me last night when I was thinking about this is there's been a lot of like chatter about when school districts get these funds, are we really using it? Are we spending it? And are we making a difference? And I think that's what you showed, right? Is that we committed to spending the money on the children in very thoughtful ways. And we see it in the data. We're a very data-driven board, very data-driven district. And so this is the type of things that we want to see, and really happy to see it. And actually it's coming to fruition. So yay for the kids.
I did really appreciate the number of folks that were actually growing as a result of our program. That was really impressive, that it was close to 90% of the students who participate that were making improvements. Do we know how much improvements they were making on average as part of our program?
Well, like the QPA is what we call it. It would have like a certain section where they get like 5 points or something like that. Some of the kids didn't know their letters, they didn't know their sounds, they didn't know the combination of certain vowels. You know, for example, one section just focuses on that final E. That seemed to be a big component this summer, and they would be zeros. That's where they stopped. And by that 3 weeks, suddenly they were scoring perfect. So that was really exciting. You know, you talk about those 14%, you know, attendance is a big component in that. And that was just solidified that effect that when they show, when they participate, they make great growth.
That's really encouraging. I had noticed on one of the later slides that you talked about enrichment opportunities that included esports. And so I was curious what we're doing esports wise in the district at this point.
I turned to the high school person for athletics. But esports is actually, it is being explored and implemented this coming fall at both the elementary and the middle school level through our partner programs. And so we look forward to that. We are not yet participating in the NCS CIF esports, but I have connected with our athletic directors to let them know that that came up.
So wasn't ACH, I think ACHS has a team, right? Or some time ago, maybe
I did reach out. They did try and start and engage with that. We don't have any other teams in the VVAL who participate. And so, so we'll see.
Makes it hard with no competitors.
Not so fun.
Any other question? All right, seeing none, I think that we can move on. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Thanks for coming. J1B, Secondary Summer Programming 2023.
Good evening again. If we could have the next set of slides up, we'll go ahead and get started. Okay, good evening again, President Gracia, Board of Trustees, Student Board Member McGrath, Dr. Massetti, and the NVUSD community. We have had a busy summer in NVUSD. I want to thank our presenters from the last presentation for incorporating our 6th, 7th, and 8th graders in some of the programming you just heard about. Tonight, I will expand on that and share with you the additional opportunities that students have had in middle school and high school. And you will hear tonight from staff, students, and industry partners who have participated in that program. Joining us in the boardroom tonight is Hector Gallego, CSC President, and Aaron Calderon, Napa High School student. Joining us via Zoom is Lady Tovar Almanza from our Workforce Development Coordinator for Napa Valley Farm Worker Foundation, Victoria Anderson, the Director of Sales and Marketing for Hudson Ranch, and Nala Hinton, a student at American Canyon High School. And I have to give a shout out to Nala because when I talked to her earlier today, she was on the golf course and now she's zooming in the boardroom. So our summer programming really focuses on 3 key areas in our strategic plan goal number 1, and that is college and career readiness, responsive engaging pedagogy, and students benefiting from real world experiences. We couldn't do this, similar to as you heard earlier this evening, without our program partners. One of our program partners is on tonight, Megan McConnell, who is from our Napa Valley Ed Foundation, is a key component of our career and college readiness opportunities this summer. We also, beyond what you heard tonight, partner with AIM High, Youth Chinema Project. You'll hear about Global Online Academy from one of our students, the Napa Valley Ed Foundation, and Napa Valley College. We had close to 1,300 students participate in some form of summer programming in middle school and high school, and it is because of these program partners that we're able to offer that much programming. I'll start off with our summer enrichment options. And so students have the opportunity to engage in enrichment activities in grades 6 through 12. Featured in this, so you'll see there are arts programs. We had over 400 students participate in Napa Valley Ed Foundation and NVUSD performing arts through theater and choir, a cappella. Some of you had the opportunities to hear them in the community this summer. Featured in this particular slide is they had field trips, which you'll hear about. Leadership development is a key component of many of our programs. Having the opportunity to engage in courses during the summer that they don't have the opportunity necessarily to engage in during the school year. Connecting to our social emotional learning development, and then also opportunities in the science, technology, engineering, and math. Our feature program tonight is a Youth Chinema Project. And so our students engage over 5 weeks in learning how to create, write, direct, act, produce videos. And I'd like to take a moment to feature one that has our very own mayor, Scott Sedgley.
Welcome to my exclusive interview with the mayor of Napa. So hello, welcome.
Good morning, hello.
How can we stop wildfires in Napa?
How can we stop them?
Yeah.
We can't. We will always have some form of grass fire, wildland fire, because we're human and it's highly combustible, and many things cause wildland fires. Equipment can cause fires, lightning can cause fires, other accidents, and some fires are intentional. So we will always have some form of wildfire, but the goal is to minimize them.
What will happen to the grapes in Napa if climate change continues?
We've learned that the heavy smoke will, at certain times of the year when the grapes are growing, they're susceptible to absorbing the chemicals or the bad stuff in smoke. They call it smoke taint. And so that's generally what affects the fruit. The vines, they are not combustible like grass, and so really they work as a buffer in wildfires. The fire might burn up to them because the green leaves and the vines don't burn, but it can damage the fruit. And that's the problem with some of the recent wildfires we've had. If the grapes are ready to harvest, that would be the worst time for them to be covered in smoke.
Remember to like and subscribe and stay tuned for the daily news.
So pretty amazing what our students were able to do.
Welcome to my exclusive interview.
And we look forward to growing this program during the school year at Silverado Middle School in alignment with one of their English classes, so our students can continue to benefit from this programming during the year. Next, I'd like to invite up Aaron Calderon. He too has been in class all day and running cross country and is joining us in the boardroom tonight to share about his experience with Global Online Academy.
Good evening, Dr. Musetti and the Board of Trustees. My name is Aaron Calderon. I'm currently a sophomore at Napa High School. I want to share a bit tonight about my summer learning experience with y'all tonight. This past spring, I was looking forward to summer enrichment class. I looked at junior college options. Unfortunately, there were no available options that aligned with my interests. That's when I came across information about the Global Online Academy. GOA offered courses that are typically not offered at my school. The architecture class was something that caught my attention. I'm considering career pathways in design, and it was a good opportunity. It also provided me with flexibility for other summer options, which included pole vault and a Napa Valley Education Foundation course. What I appreciated most about GOA experience is that I truly had a real world experience. I got to collaborate with people across the nation and world, including Jakarta, Europe, Hawaii, and Connecticut. Our teachers started in Thailand and flip-flop from there and Argentina. Our culminating project was to build a structure that would benefit the community that you lived in. I chose to create an eco-friendly animal sanctuary. Because of this class, I want to continue exploring field of architecture to see what else it has to offer. I would like to thank NVUSD for this opportunity and encourage y'all to keep them for future summers. Thanks for listening.
Thank you, Aaron. And thank you to his mom for driving him here tonight. She too taught all day. So a key component of our summer programming is ensuring that our students stay on track for graduation. Our current rising seniors who just started this past week missed their 9th grade year due to the COVID-19 pandemic. And so there was an increased need for us to focus our attention on this. Thanks to the work of our NVUSD teachers, our instructional aides, custodial staff, and the leadership of Brian Marcus, we had students complete 702 courses this summer over a 4-week period. We had 639 students recover an F in order to stay on track towards graduation. This past year, we've offered a new opportunity. So when students earn a D, they do not stay on track to apply to CSUs and UCs and other colleges. And so we have expanded our credit recovery opportunities for students who would like to complete a grade, we call it grade improvement, so that they can stay on track to apply to CSUs and UCs. And some of you had the opportunity to congratulate our seniors who took a little bit longer, but finished. We had 21 summer graduates finish this summer. We are also focusing and continue to focus on math in the key transition between 8th and 9th grade as a part of our work focused on keeping students on track. We know that Math 1 and English 9 are critically important classes to students as they transition into high school. And so this particular summer program provides students who are earning a C or lower in Math 8, that was our target audience, to provide them the skills and knowledge and support, so prevention before they even enter the Math 1 classroom. 3 of our NVUSD Math 1 teachers help support our students, and we had 3 counselors participate in supporting our students with transitioning to high school, helping them learn what are A to G requirements, providing webinars to their parents around what they can expect in high school, how to support their high school student, what credits mean when they get to high school, and why it's so important that 9th grade year to really support with grades. We had 23 students in this particular audience earn 5 math elective credits. So they do also have the opportunity, if they complete a certain amount of days and assignments, to earn elective credits. And they took 2 field trips to expose them to college, one to Cal State East Bay and another one to Sonoma State University. College and career readiness, I'm excited to welcome guests with us tonight. So as you've heard throughout the past board meetings, thanks to Assistant Superintendent Pearson and Dr. Musetti, in alignment with this year's annual board priority focused on innovation and alignment of our career readiness programs, we are excited to announce that we doubled our student participation in the MVEF and MVUSD Summer Mentor Program. We could not do this work without the incredible partnership of Napa Valley Education Foundation. 91 students participated in summer mentorship in 5 career pathways: viticulture and winemaking, hospitality, construction and maintenance, education, manufacturing, and STEM. I would like to thank Hector Gallegos and the team that was mentioned earlier tonight and invite him up to share about his experience with a mentee in building up opportunity.
Good evening again. I guess for me, one of the biggest things that I enjoyed was for the 6 months that we were there, we became teachers. When we enjoyed it, we taught them anything from discipline to how to operate equipment, how to use a tape measure. And, these students were always on time. They were there, 10 to 15 minutes earlier than some of our staff. And it was just, there's times where you notice that they would stay up, I don't know, either whether it's playing video games and or watching TikTok videos, but they were there doing their, they were everything we asked them to do. They were there, positive attitude, willing to learn, super excited, and and for us, becoming teachers for 6 weeks, it's I guess in a sense rejuvenating. It's exciting, and we enjoy it. We look forward to seeing hopefully another six students come back next year, if not more. Everybody's excited. We have a system that works, and so I mean, we look forward to having this program continue. One of the key things that we got from last year's program, we currently have two students that graduated from last year. One of them's currently he's a bus driver, and the other one's a grounds. He works in the grounds department, and so they're young, eager to learn, and with the mindset that they want to grow. So and the jobs that they're doing right now gives them an opportunity to continue going to school. So we the 6 lead workers that were involved, like I said, we enjoy it. And it was not just the lead workers. There's other folks in different departments that were part of this too. And so yeah, we look forward to it. We built relationships that are going to continue with us for the rest of our lives. And the fact that we teach these kids discipline and how to use equipment, it's I guess you could say it's life-changing. So yeah, thank you guys.
Thank you, Hector. And joining us on Zoom are partners from our viticulture and winemaking. And so I would like to introduce Lady who is with the Farm Workers Foundation.
Thank you. Can you all hear me? Monica, can you give me like a thumbs up? I can hear you.
We can hear you.
Okay, perfect. Great. Thank you so much. Hi, everyone. I'm Lady. I work with the Farm Worker Foundation, and we partner with NVUSD and Napa Valley Education Foundation to support the viticulture and winemaking track. So in 2017, that partnership began, and it was really an opportunity for students who weren't college bound or who weren't necessarily quote unquote traditional students to have an opportunity to get some real world experience and see if this would be something they would be interested in. And so before, it was a 2-week program and students would rotate between different sites. And then we realized that there wasn't enough impact that way because, if you're there for 2-3 days and then you move to a new location, then how are you really supposed to connect? And so we were looking for more of a mentorship. So over time, it turned into 16 students and 4 employers. And this past year, it was 38 students and 30 employers. So some employers will take 2 to 3 students. And we had 8 special ed students. And then we had 1 non-traditional student who actually had a way different background in his academic trajectory and excelled in the program as well. So throughout the program, we provide different kinds of supports to them. We help them with transportation. So we know that our valley is so wonderful, but one of the things that it doesn't support our students in is getting to and from locations. So we provide Uber passes for them to get to and from the location, or bus passes, or whatever they need to get to and from their work. And then we also provide them with supplies and snacks, things like that. And then at the end of the program, we provide them with continued support through our alumni program. So students can still stay connected. They can still work with different folks in the industry. The most important thing for us, and the thing that I always tell students when they're interviewing, is take a deep breath. It's going to be okay. We want a student who wants to be here. So if you want to be here and you want to learn, then we're ready to support you. And yeah, I'm really excited to have Nala and Victoria share their experience. I see part of the experience from the students' end, where I'm working with them each week with Megan, but then it's a whole other experience when students are showing up to work and really putting their best foot forward and learning about the industry themselves.
Hi, good evening. I'm Victoria Anderson. I'm the Sales and Marketing Director for Hudson Napa Valley. And I had the pleasure of working with Nala this summer and was really delighted that I got the introduction to Nala, that she got into our amazing workplace. But I mean, she was such a breath of fresh air and such a delight to work with. And it was great working with Lady, but I had some time to sit and think earlier today about what really made this program so impactful for me. And it was the fact that we had these amazing kids, and going to the graduation was just such a delightful experience. I think I cried through the whole thing, but it was amazing to see these young people who previously didn't have work experience of this nature just thrive and grow and develop. And I loved the fact that they all had to get up and give a short speech at the end of their graduation. Some of them were nervous, some of them were confident, some of them were funny, but you could just see growth and a kind of faith in themselves that I think only really comes from a strong emotional and professional experience like what they had. And I had the pleasure of working very closely with Nala. She came in her first day and kept telling us that she was just so excited to be in someplace so beautiful and to be working closely with us in a brand new environment. And she kept saying she was so nervous, and we just kept assuring her that we were just delighted to have her there. But her proclivity towards learning and picking up new skills and being open-minded and just wanting to engage every single day. It didn't matter how big or how small the task was. She was present and she was engaged with every single element of the work that we gave her. And I suppose really what I saw overarchingly with the program was that Lady and her team had this ability to build in that engagement with all of the kids and really put them on a path to be excited about what they were doing. And, you know, I have a 16-year-old daughter. To get 16-year-olds excited about work can be challenging. But I really feel like this program did that. And it was truly an honor to be a part of it. And I cannot advocate it strongly enough for it. So I'm grateful for the opportunity to participate in it. And with that, I'll hand this over to Nala.
Hi, everyone. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Great. Well, good evening. I'm Nala Hinton. I'm a senior at American Canyon High School. As you know, I was an intern at Hudson Ranch with Victoria, and I loved it. I don't think I can explain it in another way. I had an amazing time at Hudson. I learned a plethora of new skills that I'll be able to carry with me throughout my adulthood into college. And it was an amazing experience. To be specific, I was mostly in sales and marketing with Victoria. I was able to dive into, Excel sheets, partner trackers, and handwritten letters. I got to touch up on my handwriting with the letters and all that jazz. And as she said on my first day, I was beyond nervous. I felt like an imposter, but I was wrong. It was amazing. I was introduced into a career path that I had never really even considered before. And it gave me a lot of confidence in the workforce. I feel like now I think I'm more capable of, when I grow up, getting into a job and knowing how it works and that getting adjusted to the hours. And I think it boosted my confidence overall. I was surrounded by people who just constantly poured into me. My mentor, Victoria, I was learning every day. Like I said, she was pouring into me. And I even, this is a little silly, but I even made a budget. Victoria was kind enough to teach me how to make my own budget. And I think that was a lifesaver. I'm gonna use her method for, I think, the rest of my life. And I think overall, I could say that this program has really changed me, and I'm very honored and I'm so grateful that I was able to experience it. And I'm very grateful that I chose to speak on it. So thank you for having me here.
Thank you to our partners. Thank you to Nala for sharing her experience. I also want to give a shout out to our communications team. We added IT this summer as well. So as you've heard, they were able to get 1,400 Chromebooks out, and their support, it can't go without being mentioned. So next steps for us as we look to next summer is to expand our intervention within our partner programs. And so looking at how we can embed our math support and transition support between 5th and 6th grade, and then also between 8th and 9th grade into some of the programs that we have. Aim High had 140 students. And so seeing how we can use the model that Expanded Learning Opportunities has provided and use that as a model as we look at how to embed in other programs. Expand our offerings to American Canyon, especially at the middle school level, and expand our industry partner recruitment. We are so grateful for our industry partners, as you heard tonight in the boardroom and on Zoom, and we have more students who want to engage in real world experiences over the summer. So we start recruitment next month. Also continuing our on-track A to G support, we have the partnership of California Education Partners, and we look forward to looking at how we can support students transitioning from 8th to 9th grade so they don't get off track. Continuing this during the school year, we'll expand our high school Boys and Girls Club expansion and programming, and then look at earlier recruitment for our summer programs. This would not be possible without the support of our tech team, who has our technology running throughout the summer for our students and our staff and our community partners, our Promethean boards, as well as our maintenance and operations team. As a former high school principal, I find it absolutely incredible that we had over 400 students on the Napa High School campus, and they turned it around in a matter of 1 or 2 weeks to make sure it was ready to welcome over 1,000 students. And then our food service team, who not only served the sites that you heard earlier in our ELOP program, but also served our middle school and high school sites for these programs. We literally couldn't do this without them. And with that, I will take any comments or questions.
Sure. Before we take those from the board, Mr. Michaels, do we have any public comment on this item?
There is no public comment on this item.
Okay. Student Board Member McGrath.
Yeah, thank you for that presentation. I had cross-country practice with Aaron a few hours ago, so it was nice to see him in here. That was a great presentation. I just wanted to point out that the real-world experiences for the students are very valuable, as Aaron and Nala showed. And I think it's amazing that the students are able to explore their passions in high school and before they go off, and they're able to view possible career paths. I think that's very valuable. And the point that you mentioned about making sure that they have all the CSU and UC requirements is very, very interesting, because usually when you think of credit recovery, it's almost just like barely scraping by. And I think it's very valuable that there's that extra step for them. And I think what you mentioned about the students being early and on time shows how important that is to the students. Even though they may be up late watching TikTok and not getting enough sleep, they're on time. So they do value this. And yeah, overall, I'm just very grateful that you guys have this as an opportunity for students to grow.
Thank you. Trustee Chu.
So it's hard to follow student comments always, especially here, right? But I will have to say that, we got a similar presentation last year and we were really in awe. And I thought, I couldn't be more in awe, and I am. I'm really grateful of the expansion and the direction of the expansion and all the additional just enriching experiences that we're bringing to our secondary schools. Because before it felt like there was almost none. So really happy with that. I heard this presentation yesterday and I had a chance to kind of say, hey, there's this opportunity. Maybe the district is trying to expand it to American Canyon, and everybody was all for it. So you have that community wanting more, and I think here as well. So keep up the good work.
Trustee Reiser.
Yeah, just quickly, what an incredible breadth of offerings you have just outlined for us in this presentation. It's pretty mind-blowing, from the credit recovery and the academic support and the AG planning to the enrichment opportunities. I want to thank Aaron for coming in on a school night and telling us in person to our faces how valuable that experience was. That Global Online Academy sounds like such a cool new sort of partner organization and platform to utilize. It just was so exciting to think about how how kind of mind expanding these experiences can be for kids. And, one summer opportunity turns into, wow, maybe I should be an architect. That would be a really cool path. So to think about having that exposure as the summer between your 9th and 10th grade year, that has your mind going and looking for other opportunities to learn more about what resonates with you and where your skills lie and what makes you happy. Because really the best advice is, follow the things where you lose track of time, because you're just so into what you're doing that you want to keep doing it, and you don't even notice that the time is passing. So the more opportunities that we can give kids in all of these forms to learn about themselves earlier in life is just incredibly exciting. And then just particularly the internship program, I'm very moved by Mr. Gallegos's comments about the win-win there, just the connecting between staff and students in a different way. It's such a different relationship than a student has in a classroom with, 20 to 35 other classmates and one teacher. We're giving students access to mentoring in a totally different setting and format in these internship programs. And everyone benefits from more mentors and more people that they connect with, who see them, that they see and they learn from. And to hear you acknowledge, Mr. Gallegos, the way it was sort of a two-way street, and how it sort of energized the staff and made you see the kids in a different way, and also demanded different things of you, because teaching and mentoring and teaching discipline is very different than showing up at work and going about your day and your normal, long list of responsibilities. So for you to be willing to take that on, we're grateful for that. And it's gratifying to hear. And it sounds like from our partners that we couldn't see their faces, but that we heard on the audio, that it was gratifying for all the adults involved as well. It's just amazing. And then the other component about having that real first work experience and all that goes with that, and the kind of, not to say it's not important, but like to have a low stakes sort of entry in there where it's an internship. So you're sort of expected to be a beginner and to not exactly know how things work. And it's sort of okay to have to like learn a couple times, like, you really got to be on time. That's a key part about being an employee, and learning that lesson, learning how to interview, learning how to walk into a place. I mean, to hear Nala talk about feeling like an imposter on her first day, and then getting over that and realizing, oh, they're here to welcome me and teach me, and I have skills and competencies. Just the how that contributes to their growth, their personal growth, and their confidence, whether it turns into, wow, I found my career path and now I'm going into, the wine industry, or not, that growth is going to remain. And I just want to give you my gratitude and appreciation for the amazing expansion to have doubled the program from last year to this, and this is the second year of it. So that just reflects an enormous amount of work and partnership and collaboration and goodwill, and it's all to benefit our kids. So it's just incredibly exciting. And I want to thank Nala, if she's still on, for joining us virtually at the end of your long day as well. We love to amplify student voice in our district, and I really appreciated the student voices that were part of this presentation. So thank you so much.
Trustee Wong.
Well, I am so excited about an internship resulting in a new bus driver. I can hardly contain myself. I mean, I've been reading about what's going on with the bus driver shortage. I mean, some kids left by kindergartner left by the side of the road until 8 o'clock at night in Kentucky. It's just a nightmare.
Not in Napa Valley Unified.
Not in Napa Valley, not Napa Valley, somewhere else entirely. But and thank you, Aaron. It sounds like I really love animals, and it sounds like your project is something that I really endorse. That must have been wonderful for you. And Hector, I'm glad you enjoyed working with kids. I did it for over 15 years. They're not hard to like, are they? And I'm sure they liked you. And finally, Nala, what you said about learning every day, that's really what it's supposed to be about, isn't it? So thank you for phoning in, and you can hang up now and go to sleep, get ready for tomorrow. This is just an exciting program. And I think our community just has a lot to offer for kids. So this is great. Thank you so much for all your work.
Well, the summer internship program sounds pretty special. I appreciate the focus of that program on the career part of the college and career readiness. Hearing the impressive student testimonials makes me think we need to find a way to scale the program even larger. Hopefully we can continue to expand this program and the access to it. You were able to double participation last year. Do you think you can double it again this coming year?
Sure, she can.
We hope to do so. We definitely have the student interest, and we couldn't have done it without the support of Assistant Superintendent Page, who helped us actually be able to hire some of the students within our own district. So thank you. We start recruitment next month. We have done some pre-work around, it's really about building partnerships with our industry. And so as we build connections with our career tech ed teachers and some of their industry partners, and then build connections across our commerce and our city of Napa, as well as working with our Napa Valley Ed Foundation. And we had an idea earlier around reaching out to some of our vendors. And so it's building those connections. Appreciate the support of having a coordinator of college and career readiness to really be a point person to build those connections and continues to sustain the ones we have. I think the positive stories that you hear tonight just help us do that. So we have started that early process of trying to develop some of our own advisories that then build the connections out, as well as continuing to build them externally and sustain the ones we have. So I hope to double it too, maybe triple it, but we'll see. We'll start with double.
Triple sounds like a good goal. I like that.
I'm open to any support with industry partners.
We have high expectations, Director Reddy.
All right, I think.
Can I just make one
Yeah,
comment?
go ahead.
Thank you so much, trustees. And I'm so grateful that I mentioned this, I think, in my board report, at our first meeting on August 10th. And I was so grateful to see that Director Reddy was going to present really on, I want to echo what Trustee Chu said, all of the secondary programs that have been developed. It is true when I think of my first year, about my first year as superintendent, and it was pretty, it was minimal. It was really limited credit recovery was what we were doing in the summer for our high school students. And so over the course of the last couple of years, this degree of expansion is beyond impressive, but most importantly, the quality of the programs that have been developed. I'm so excited. It was so great to hear from Aaron about, Global Online Academy offering students. It's a very costly program, per course program, and us sponsoring that and subsidizing that as an educational experience. It provides flexibility so kids can do other things, but still have this opportunity for a really engaging online high interest course where you can collaborate with students across the globe. Like, how cool is that, right? So I'm so excited to hear your testimonial. And then I think I said it at the graduation for the summer intern program, and everything that everyone said. Oh, I don't like to call out favorite programs. Love your ELOP program out there too tonight. But this intern program is really special. And so I think you've heard it, but we're so excited about the potential of scalability. So whatever support that you need to cultivate those partnerships with our community partners who can provide the path of opportunities for our kids to have access to the world of work. They learn so much. They learn what they love. They learn what they don't love. That's all great learning. And then all these life skills that are so important before we launch them into the world as young adults. So thank you so much for all of your hard work. It's really impressive, the progress over the last couple of years. Thank you.
Thank you.
J1C, introduction of supplementary instructional material adoption for middle school.
Okay. With our focus on literacy and reading to learn, we continue to support the adoption of novels. And so with that, the NVUSD Novel Selection Committee that started last year, composed of NVUSD English Language Arts teachers, reviewed multiple novels that they would like for our students to engage in this year. And one of those is The Last Quintista. Provides students with the experience of reading a full-length novel in the classroom, trying to get those full-length novels in the hands of students, whether it's digitally or copies in the classroom. The novel will support students with ELA priority standards in literature and language, and the story provides a window into 3 generations of Latino family who are portrayed with attention to very professional occupations and interests. We think that this particular novel will speak to our students and support them as we support a goal around culturally responsive pedagogy by putting what in the classroom, something that reflects our student population. And so the content, vocabulary, language structures, as well as the content of the story support a balanced literacy program for our students. And we hope that it continues to help them as they read to learn.
Mr. Michaels, do we have any public comment on this item?
There is no public comment on this item.
Trustees? All right, it looks like we do not have any discussion on this item, so we'll move on to J1D, Introduction of Core Instructional Materials Adoption for Middle and High Schools.
So a few years ago, we adopted a curriculum for our world languages. And since then, we have opened Unidos Middle School. And we, as a part of that work, continue to strengthen the vertical alignment of our Spanish language arts, our Spanish, and our Spanish for Spanish speakers programming. In doing that and onboarding 6th, 7th, and 8th graders into 3 different language pathways, we revisited some of our core offerings. And so within one of the publishers that we currently use, our staff went through a pilot last year in the spring of Perspectivas and found it to offer a culturally relevant text that's written at a level that's accessible for our students, that also provides continuity between the 6th, 7th, and 8th grade as they enter high school at various levels. Some of our students will use this curriculum and get credit for 2 years worth of world language and then enter a 3rd or an AP class. And so by having this particular revision to one of our adoptions at a minimal cost, because it is one of our publishers that we currently support, it'll be a change in our Spanish and our Spanish language arts and our Spanish for Spanish speakers pathways that we think will not only strengthen at the middle school, but also support them so that they transition well into the high school courses as they mix with potentially students who are juniors and sophomores when they enter that school. So.
Mr. Michaels, do we have any public comment on this item?
There is no public comment on this item.
Or discussion? Seeing none, thank you for the presentation. We'll now take a break, about 5 minutes.
Sorry, we can't hear the boardroom, so we're having some technical difficulties, so just stand by.
comment on this item?
We have no public comment on this item, President Gracia.
Student Board Member McGrath,
Aye.
all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions, motion passes. K4B, contract with Pro Care Therapy.
Move to approve.
Second.
Chu, second by trustee Riser. Mr. Michaels, do we have any public comment on this item?
There is no public comment on this item.
All right. Student Board Member McGrath,
Aye.
all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions, motion passes. K5, Operational Services. K5A, Contract with Hobart.
Move to approve.
Second.
First by trustee Chu, second by trustee Riser. Mr. Michaels, do we have any public comment on this item?
We have no public comment on this item.
All right, Student Board Member McGrath,
Aye.
all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions, motion passes. K5B, FMO 03.01.2024, My Bark Co.
Move to approve.
Second.
First by trustee Chu, second by trustee Riser. Mr. Michaels, do we have any public comment on this item?
We have no public comment on this item.
Student Board Member McGrath,
Aye.
all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions, motion passes. K5C, FMO 04.01.2024, Tiny Mobile Robots.
Move to approve.
Second.
First by trustee Chu, second by trustee Riser. Mr. Michaels, do we have any public comment about the tiny mobile robots?
There is no public comment on this item.
I have a comment.
Okay.
Can we see it in action when it's fully implemented and
A little video.
lining our field? I would love to see that.
Assistant Superintendent Person.
I did share with President Gracia a website that was actually really, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, President Gracia, but it's pretty informative. I can share that website with you. And once we have the device here, we're more than happy to do a demonstration if you'd like to come out and see it in operation. We need to test it first, though. Probably going to have Finn come out and help us out a little bit because of the technology piece.
Okay.
But once we get it down, yes, it should come out. There's lots of rave reviews on this little robot, so we're really excited.
I think our students would be all interested too.
And trustees, you already have the link that was shared with trustee Gracia when you got the staff responses to the board inquiries.
So everyone can see the tiny robot in action.
You're sure it's not
I don't know.
Hopefully. All right.
Well, Assistant Superintendent Pearson said so.
Student Board Member McGrath,
Aye.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions, motion passes. All right, item L. This is the informational part of the agenda, and unless discussion is desired, there is no voting. So L1 is general services. L1A is the Curriculum and Student Support Committee. And while the committee did meet, we will not have minutes until next meeting. L1B, Facilities and Technology. This committee has not met. L1C, this is the Finance Committee. Again, this committee has not met. And L1D is the Policy Committee, also has not met. L2 is Instructional Services. L2A is the Stonebridge Charter Council minutes for January through June of 2023. Mr. Michaels, is there any public comment on this item?
There is no public comment on this item.
Board discussion?
I just think that these minutes are much better than they were when I came here 5 years ago.
That was my comment too.
And I really enjoyed reading them and just seeing when a charter school offers a markedly different program than anything the district offers within our schools. You know, there's a lot of narrative in the community that as a school district, we are against charter schools. And I think that the Stonebridge K-8 charter is a perfect example of our support of truly innovative and different offerings for our students.
It certainly is unique to Nampa.
I'll be there on a school visit tomorrow at 10 a.m.
Oh, now it's not a surprise. All right. Looking like there's no further discussion, we'll move on to item M, additional suggestions and comments from board members and the superintendent.
I just want to say today was the first official game of the American Canyon High School freshman football team. Unfortunately, they lost to Vintage, but congratulations for the beginning of, I think this is the first season they've had their freshman football team.
That will probably pay dividends in 3 or 4 years.
Probably, and hence the shirt.
I did have an additional comment. We had these nice new monitors here that made it much easier to see the presentation. So I certainly appreciate the better visibility that we have here in the boardroom. So that's a good improvement. Item N, future agenda items. Seeing none. Item O, adjournment. I move to adjourn.
Second.
First by myself, second by trustee Chu. All those in favor?
Aye.
Meeting is adjourned at 9:15.